To my video. My name is Travis Garrison. Sometimes I forget to mention my name. Um, I want to give my creator all the honor, glory, and praise. I don't want to miss 1 second without honoring my creator, and that is Yashua, which means salvation. And I'm just, you know, here to tell everybody it's fixing. This age is fixing to be over, and there's only one mediator between our Father and that is Yeshua. If you try to go to heaven a different way, you are a thief and a robber. That's what the scripture says. And I believe that, well, anyway, we'll get started with this. This is about, we've had a new guy enter the presidential race of America. And I believe it's it's um, the Republican, all the Christians in this country thinks that you are really voting, that they're keeping you in a war. Democrats and Republicans. It's called Hegelian dialect. They're taught to do this, but it's not. They say we the people, but when Adam and Eve fell, it was no longer we the people. Really, it was the especially when Saul, the children of Israel wanted a king, and God said, "All right, if y'all want a king to rule over you, then here is King Saul." And they paid. That's when the governments of the world started. This because there was jealousy that Saul was jealous of King David that was coming up to be you know the a king after God's own heart. God's what happened was God put us here to be free without a government over us, a king over us. He created us to not be ruled over by anybody except for Him. God is a righteous God. To His government is a theocracy, one God, one Creator, and he's not like a iron fisted God like people display him as sometimes. He's just a holy God. He's a righteous God. He's going to do what's right. And when Adam and Eve sinned, Adam became the first judge. When he seen the evil, he started trying to judge that evil because he knew it was wrong. He knew the evil was wrong, and he started trying to judge it, to correct it. And he never could correct it. Jesus Christ, or Yeshua, is the only one that could correct this. And we're we're on like we're in a time. Just say we're like in a time capsule, and Adam started trying to correct his mistake. Adam committed treason. It wasn't Eve; it was Adam that knew better than to eat from that tree of knowledge and of good and evil, because it opened up the evil for Adam to see, and then Adam knew it was wrong, and he started having to judge it, trying to judge it, to get it under control, the evil, and he couldn't do it. And so we got on a course of somebody had to fix it. Jesus Christ came and fixed this for us. Now we're going back towards the beginning where the evil's going to be revealed and Jesus Christ is going to judge it. It's coming to that, and you can see it all over the world. Everything's being exposed. And okay, so we got these presidents coming in. Here's his chart. Saturn is that Leo stands for the line of the tribe of Judah, Jesus Christ. Here's the God's chosen people come out of this womb right here. You might as well call this Israel, the woman, the bride. I mean, they're supposed to be the bride. So, but there was two huge conjunctions here that happened, and I'm going to show you in another app. But there's Saturn making war with the line of the tribe of Judah. There's Mercury announcing it. There's actually represents God the Father or Jesus Christ. And then you got Mars. It just looks like came out of the womb, telling you there's a war going on. This person is not a true Christian, not the same Jesus that we follow from the Scripture. This is a different they're going under this Antichrist system is going to be like law and order. You're going to obey, you're going to submit, and you're going to do it their way. That's what's coming for a little bit. And the Christian world is falling right in line with these law and order people. Now, I'm not against law and order because that's kind of the way it has to be now. There was no law and order until Adam and Eve sinned. But I want to go on. I just want to continue on here with this. I don't want to get on a rant or anything like that. But I want to say another thing is that to the authorities, I know y'all, some of y'all, that even the Christian church, you're siding up with these politicians. You're in the Hegelian dialect of fighting, saying we the people, we the people. Yeah, it was we the people at one time, but now we got a king over us, a ruler that's going to force law and order on you, and some of it's going to be against your belief system, your God. Because I know a lot of you believe in Jesus Christ, the church, and you've got these politicians that's coming up. We're going to do this. We're going to be your law and order president. And we got another one here that's law and order president, Mr. Ron Desantis, the governor of Florida. Let me show you who he is, folks. He's 44 years old. He's a law and order president. He announces law and order, and here he is showing you he is an angel. He have the flag just like Donald Trump, standing between the flags, making himself appear with angel wings. That's what this is all about, law and order. Well, if you want to know about Ron DeSantis, I start looking at when he was born, because it tells us a story. And this is it right here, Ron DeSantis, the war against, and he might think he's really serving Jesus Christ, following, being this ruler on this earth, the judge. He wants to be the judge, supposedly, of the United States. And he was the hero in the pandemic thing. He was a hero type person. So, and Uranus is between the children of Israel and judgment. That stands for God the Father, the throne room, the heaven, the sky, the Spirit, our Creator. That's what Uranus stands for. It was originally spelled O-R, which means like orb, a light. The heavens. And there's Mars in the constellation of the children of Israel. And the sun is making a note right there. It's showing you that there's a war going on, and it's given special attention right here when all this happened to the children, the woman, the children of Israel. So that's what I mean. Israel's called a woman a lot, feminine. So in our churches, we're not taught all this stuff. We're not taught a lot of these things. That there is a feminine aspect to our whole creation, and it's huge. I'm gonna call it the triune God of the masculine, the feminine, and the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. We can't exist without the other. The masculine can't exist without the feminine. The feminine can't exist without the masculine. And God has showed us that with the chicken and egg. The egg will just lay there and be an egg forever until it's fertilized from the masculine, the rooster. But so there cannot be a procreation without a masculine and feminine. And that stuff was hid from us in the churches. Really, I mean, it was kind of not on purpose. I don't really think, because I think that's what my ancestors believed, after they got deceived a little bit. But this is Ron DeSantis. All right, let's look here at, he was born September 14, 1978, and his birth chart made a set of horns. That's what I call horns, like devil's horns, And Benjamin Netanyahu has the same type of chart, and I think Joe Biden does too. But these are horns. He made a set of horns. And if you look, there's a right here's Jupiter, the man child. There's a war going on. When you kind of see the red line or the red markers there, it's pointing to, which I mean, red usually means war. Like the planet Mars, the star Mars is called the red planet, and it means war. Saturn stands for Satan in the biblical view. Probably in the real view, is Saturn stands for Satan. That's the reason it's got the rings around the star, because it's containing the fallen, some of the fallen angels that fell at the time of um, when giants were formed. They decided to leave their first estate and come into um, human somehow and create Nephilims. And some of those 200 of those are contained in probably Saturn with the rings around it, because they're magnetic rings. It's holding this light, this magnetic light in, and this they have conscience. They have a will, and God's contained them in these ring, these circle of rings that's containing the fallen angels, some of them. So Ron Desantis is showing you us that he is a angel. By standing like with the angel wings, just like Donald Trump does, just like Donald Trump, and he's going to enforce this law and order. And I don't know if he's serious. He's announced he's announcing the death penalty and a lot of things like that, And if you go by the rules of the Bible, you have to have at least 2 or 3 witnesses before you can bring an accusation against someone. And I ain't saying it's wrong, that somebody that does crimes needs to be judged. But if they've done one crime and nobody else sees it, then you have to go there's ways to do it. You go first to that person by yourself, and if you can't resolve it, then you go to like a pastor. And then if it can't be resolved, because you have to have you have to, anyway, you can go research that out. But anyway, I just want to bring this up about Ron DeSantis. Let's see here. Um, let's see here all right, he had a huge quadruple conjunction and a triple conjunction right there. And really had another one here with Jupiter and the dark, they call it Lilith moon. There was a conjunction right there, but it don't show the Lilith moon, and I don't really understand all that. It's just got something to do with hidden maybe or whatever. But that's huge right there. Those 2 conjunctions, the quadruple and here's something else that kind of is a little bit disturbing. He has an ambiguous signature, so there's something really going on that have these ambiguous symbols. They cannot, it cannot determine the right signature, because we're created from frequency, vibration, and energy. When the stars are twinkling, they're sending out a frequency vibration. It's like a projection of a camera, really. Somehow, they're like the moon and the sun. They are projecting down here somehow, and creation, man. It's we see people, and it's like we're in a simulation, a matrix type situation. There's no really other way it could work. When you fly, like I flew to Israel, and I seen miles and miles and miles of land, and I'm just thinking, man, it would take so much energy to create this place and keep it going, So it has to be some kind of a massive energy system, and it has to be continuous for us to even exist, the earth to even exist. So what I'm saying is that we're created from this light. We're created with cells of light. I don't believe there's such a thing as an atom anymore. I think they have changed the scientific name of light cells to atoms, ATOM, and they can't even take a picture. They can't even get a picture of an atom. I don't know how they've come up with this nuclear stuff. I think it's all all got to do with the molecules or something that's in water. I don't really think it's because if you see a nuclear power plant, it's always sitting on the water, right by the water. So they've learned how to um, take the energy out of the water and make this power. I don't really think it's atoms, but I can't say for sure about that. I believe it's cells of light and cells of the water, because the rainbow, God showed the rainbow to Noah, which has to kind of project through water to make that rainbow, that colors of it. I don't understand it all. I don't have all the answers. I just know that I started seeing that how we there's there's a lot of things that we wasn't told in our churches, in our schools, and that's another thing. These schools, if your kids are in public school, that is public enemy number two on this earth, to steal your children's souls. They have lied, and they are the biggest liars. It's formed now. It used to be a church school, when it started out, but uh, they've done took and deceived your kids for the most part. And I'm saying homeschool your kids. It's not hard. Uh, we got to get back to taking care of our family, our kids and stuff, or their souls. We're keepers of the parents are the keepers of their children's souls, and these schools are stealing them. That's their whole purpose. I mean, I know some of the teachers and stuff in these schools feel like they're doing the right thing, and some of them are doing right by teaching them math and stuff like that. But when it gets down to history and stuff, it's lies. When it gets down to English, some of that's lies. And so what I'm saying you that we have to. I used to be. I don't. I don't pledge allegiance to nothing anymore except my Creator. I don't pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. I love this country that I was born in. God made me born here, and I love it. But I will never pledge to anything other than my Creator. Never will I pledge to a flag, not even the Christian flag, because that's a type of an idol. And you have to start realizing these. If you're you want the real truth. You start seeing that this patriot spirit thing is not of our Creator. To be a patriot I'm a patriot of my country that I live in, but not like I don't follow the our government's military and all that anymore, because when you start digging into the Iraq War and all that, and probably the Vietnam War and World War II, we were lied to about the Iraq War, and I fell right in with everybody else. I thought it was Muslim terrorists that flew planes into the Twin Towers, and it wasn't Muslim terrorists that done that. It was Zionist. The um who was the first one on the scene? Donald Trump was the first report. The news got. He was the first one that done an interview. At the time the buildings were coming down, Donald Trump was on the streets giving an interview. Are you kidding me? I mean, I look back now and I'm thinking, how could I have been so deceived by their lies? George Bush and them, they're evil. Man, these rulers of this earth, of the United States, is evil. I'll tell them right to their face. They're going to force this law and order on you when the time comes. This Antichrist is going to be a great deception. And anyway, I'm just saying, get your heart right, and there's a way that God will protect you. And the the United States government has went in many houses trying to scare the 144,000. They know who these people are, the 144,000, 12 tribes of Israel that can't be touched. They have tried to place fear in them by coming in their house with guns, Department of Homeland Security, because I was one of them. And I prayed because the man just about met his Creator that night, but I prayed that God, you gotta help me right now, because something bad's fixing to happen in here, because they ain't coming in my house like that no more. And because they will, I mean, they'll be judged that night. And I ain't threatening or anything. I'm just telling you that you're not going to come in my house with my family and bring a firearm into my house. Judgment is coming on you. You brought the plagues of Moses up on you when that happened to you. When that happened, you brought the plagues upon you and your family because y'all knew who I was, and I know who I am. So I'm just um, God's judgment is coming up on these law and order rulers that have evil intent really in their hearts. I want to thank everybody for coming to my video. I hope everyone has a great day, and